Hi, everybody. So in this video, I want to talk about the language and credibility planner, which is the second part of your planner. And like I said, they're split into two different parts, just for the sake of like kind of dividing up the resources and explaining them. So in the language and credibility section of this paper, you're going to be focusing on looking at the language use, the credibility, the worldviews and biases, particularly of the author of the article that is our evaluation focus. Many colleges fail to teach critical thinking skills. So the planner itself, we'll just open up. This is what it looks like. And so all of these questions about language use and tone and worldview, they're going to be geared towards Larkin and his article. So the instructor provided Unit 4 reading. So there are going to be questions about what writing choices the author makes in the article. And it says in here, there are questions about the rhetorical appeals, which is ethos, logos, pathos, details, what's included, what's not, sentence structure, is it concise, is it long, is it too academic, is it a study, is it hard to follow, and language, word choice. Is it using more of a formal language, more jargon language that maybe somebody outside of the field wouldn't understand? Is there any loaded language, meaning emotive language, words that carry kind of an intense emotion with them? What's going on here in terms of the writing choices the author makes in the article, and what do those choices, how can you evaluate those choices? What do those choices tell you? What inferences can you make from those choices? Because down here, it's going to ask you exactly that. What impact do the writing choices have on the reader? Did the writing make you feel like you were being manipulated because it was full of pathos? Did it make you feel like you were being condescended to because of the word choice? What impact does the writing choices that the author made have on how you read the article? And again, this is for the Larkin article. Many colleges fail to teach critical thinking skills. This question asks you to determine the overall tone. And remember, there's an article about tone, and I've linked that in the announcement that gives you some example words that would work for tone. So if you want a list of words to choose from, that tone article can help you with that. The credibility questions are going to ask you to do some of that critical thinking and go out and perform searches on the internet on your own. What do you know about the author's education or experience? Don't say, I don't know who this is. Go find out. Who is this person? Where did this person go to school? What is this person's career? What's their specialty? If they're a journalist, do they have like a special field in journalism? If they are just exclusively a journalist, are they pulling strong, reputable sources in the field that they're talking about? What's going on here? And if you use any outside links, like if you use a bio, if you look on this person's Wikipedia page, or you look on the Wikipedia page for the publication where it appeared, include URLs. Explain if the author's credible. Explain if the source is credible. This means the newspaper, the magazine, the journal, or the website that this article actually appeared in. And you can Google those things too. You can look it up. You can be like, well, I have no idea. I don't know what kind of publication the Christian Science Monitor is. Look it up. Worldviews and biases. What is the author's worldview? Is there evidence of bias? So I think we've had these questions before in evaluating a different article or a different argument. I think we broke it down once before, but I'm just going to mention here, worldview is basically about the way that the person sees the world from their background. So think about things like, where is the person, what's their political affiliation? Can you kind of tell what are they, what's their religious background? Can you tell what's their regional background? Where are they from? Things like that. What is their worldview? What contributes to the way that they see the world? Things like sexuality, things like religion, things like political affiliation. These are all examples that might have an impact on the author's worldview. And then there's also this question of evidence of bias. Remember that bias is not the same as having an opinion. So don't say like, well, they're biased because they think this. Bias is when somebody is unfairly prejudiced for or against something. So make sure that when you're talking about bias, you're not just repeating their opinions, because having an opinion is not the same thing as inherently being biased. I linked the article on worldview and bias for you to read up on too. And then lastly, what you're going to do is create a thesis statement. The question is the author's argument effective and convincing or not? And you might be like, I don't know. Look back at everything you just wrote. If you wrote that the article is full of logical fallacies and you think that the author's worldview is clouding the way that they are writing this article, that probably means that there's some big problems in this article. Is the author's argument effective and convincing or not? To answer that question, look back at everything you just did and come up with your overall evaluation. Yes, this article is effective. No, this article is not effective. And why or why not?